Yeah, boy. Fucking hell, it's well.
Mine's alright.
I got milk in mine, that's why. You got tail down your cup.
It's because you spilt it.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Wheelie Good Times. This time in video.
We are in video.
We've decided for 2022 we're going to go video. We're going to put this one out in 2021 as it's like our test episode, if you will. I think this is episode 14. I think we're only on 12 on Spotify because we recorded one and I only found it the other day to edit it. So there might be a little bonus episode that comes out before this one. But yeah, we're going video. That's what's happening. And in this one, it's a little roundup of our year and what we're going to be doing in 2022, and also a little bit of bike news. We've got bike shout out of the week. We've got a Cryptic this week as well. So yeah, should we get into it?
We should indeed. Organisation over here at Really Good Times is one of the things we thrive on. So yeah, expect big things in the future.
Oh, okay, cool. let me get the agenda up. So we'd actually planned to film this using a tool, which is what we normally record our podcast on, and we're normally in separate locations. It takes those audio files and then it gives us the raw one, so you don't have that like glitchy Zoom meeting style thing. So we tried it. It has a video function, and we just couldn't get it to work. It was all over the place. We had like 8 seconds of lag between us talking. The video was cutting out, so we just thought, screw it. Let's come meet together and just do it in person. Seeing as I spend more time in front of the camera than Kong, just needs to get to grips with being on camera. So he's a little bit uncomfortable, but it's all right. He'll get into it with time. So we're going to go through things we want to do with the show. So obviously we're coming to video. We want to put out more video content. We don't want to just do podcasty things. We want to do just sort of more helpful, useful videos, as well as just showing off the bike world. I think it's a little bit underrepresented. I think, YouTube lumps it in like vehicles and autos, and that's predominantly cars. There's some like big car YouTube people, but we think that there's definitely stuff we can bring to the table, and we're really excited to bring forward sort of in 2022. So we're going to be out about, we're going to be in a studio, we're just going to be having lots of fun, and obviously we want to try and engage with our community. And thank you everyone who listened in 2021, because we got our Spotify Wrapped thing for creators, and whilst we're not number one of the charts, we actually were really like happy. We're listened to in a couple of countries. We had a fairly few regular listeners, and actually 4 people listened to us more than any other podcast.
Yeah, I think that was probably me, you, and
our mum and our dad.
Most
and that's it. But hey, it's nice that actually that people have been listening to us, and it makes us feel like we're doing a nice thing, and people are enjoying the content. Yeah,
that is one thing that I found was weird for me, because we hadn't really done any marketing. We'd made an Instagram, we hadn't really tagged anyone in it or put any hashtags or really done too much of it. We just kind of made it and then put it there, and then somehow people found us on Spotify. So that's really cool, actually.
Yeah, we never promoted it. We just sort of
did it.
Really. So yeah, and that's something that hopefully we'll see in 2022, is we're going to put ourselves out there a little bit more, have a little bit more confidence in what we're doing. So yeah, we're looking forward to that.
So yeah, I also just want to point out that Tom is the older brother. I know I look wise beyond my years, but Tom is the older brother. Tom is the man with the SV650, big bicycle license, Grom, CBT. Just to put faces to the names.
Yeah, we do a little bit of an intro in our first ever podcast, episode 1. You can go and listen back to that on your favourite podcasting app. We're on as many as I think that we could get ourselves onto, so go and have a listen to it there. We're a little bit slow and jerky in those first ones, but if you can better it, you get to know a little bit about us, and maybe we'll re-record it one day. I don't know.
Mainly, why we wanted to get this one out before the end of the year was just to kind of map what we want to do for the next year. We kind of did some sporadic podcasting in 2021, and we thought it'd be quite good to really kind of nail down a plan, get more content out and stuff like that for the new year. I think some motorbike adventures maybe on the horizon. Like Tom said, some more sit-down videos where we kind of a bit more scripted, where we kind of talk about all things motorbikes, but kind of have different subjects and topics for each videos to kind of learn ourselves and then give to you what we've learned.
I think you learn more by teaching.
Yeah, and I've never taught anything.
Cool.
So,
Nice one. Well, we're both commuting every day by motorcycle. I've decided to forego cars this winter. I thought, sod it, I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to ride my bike.
I decided that also.
So that also by just not having a driving license.
Yeah.
So we're both riding. I think how many miles you do a day?
If it's just to work and back, 60.
60. So I'm 40 a day if I'm just working back.
Yeah.
So we're doing reasonable mileage, and obviously when we started this podcast, Kong was very new into riding, and he was sort of like the beginner, asking someone that's been doing it for a lot longer sort of questions about riding. But I think when you've racked up the amount of miles that you've done, you've probably learned quite a lot quite quickly.
Yeah, I think I'm coming up to about 20,000 miles, which I think is quite good.
Yeah.
I've only just done my second CBT, and we should actually do a bit about that, because that was quite funny. I've got some funny stories about that. So
Okay.
maybe in another podcast I'll run you through.
That sounds like a good episode.
Yeah,
we'll do that.
I'll run you through my second CBT experience, because that was quite funny. And I actually wasn't sure if I was going to pass, but I did, and it's all good. So yeah, coming up to about 20,000 miles on the Grom, probably one of the most used Groms there is.
Especially for how long you've had it for as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's going on good. So that's sort of what we're going to be doing in 2022. We're going to get into a little bit of some bike stuff now. But if you have anything that you want us to see, a topic you want us to cover, or anything you want us to talk about, then obviously leave us a message. So this will be on YouTube. We've got an Instagram page as well, and we also have wheeliegoodtimes.co.uk. Don't go to .com because you get redirected to somebody else's website that takes photos for things. But yeah, so we'll try and be out there as possible. But we're going to move into I want to talk about the NEC Motorcycle Live show that was just on. So from today, it literally ended on the Sunday just gone. So it's 5 days ago, Motorcycle Live. So I want to talk a little bit about that if you want.
Yeah, you've done that every year for how many years?
I think I started in 2014, 2015.
So about 7 years.
So I've done the XL show in London and the Motorcycle Live at the NEC. There wasn't one last year, so I wasn't there for that one. But yeah, it was definitely an interesting one this time around. Obviously, it was the first one since COVID. There was, manufacturers weren't there, so there was no Yamaha, which Georgie was quite upset about because she really wanted to go see an R1M. And there was no Piaggio group either, so the scooters, which also means no Aprilia, which I just love Aprilia, so there was none of that. So it is definitely a different atmosphere. And actually this year I didn't do the entire show, I just did the final Sunday. The final Sunday can just be like chaos. It can be like utter chaos. Everyone's trying to get like a last minute bargain, and it's like you can barely move for people. This time around though, you had space. You could, I don't want to say hurl a cat or twirl a cat. I want to say something that's a bit more...
Almost as if there was kind of a global pandemic or virus that people were scared of.
Yeah, and didn't want to go out,
Yeah. But so what actually is it? Is it a place where they come and companies come and show off their brands and also sell stuff? Is that the kind of general gist of the show?
So the NEC is absolutely enormous. It's like a leviathan of space. It's big, it's open. You've got the motorcycle manufacturers there showing off, sort of new bikes they've got in their range, just cool stuff. They sometimes put on quite cool things like Harley Davidson this year. They had 2 bikes, they had a Sportster and a Panamerica.
I saw the
and
Panamerica.
It had a fan. Thank you. Yeah, they had a big fan, and they start the bike up on rollers, and you could sort of ride along with the wind in your hair.
Oh,
so you could ride sort of indoors, which was quite cool. So you could do that. And they had like sort of bits of interactivity. You can talk to people about the bikes. You can go and sit on near enough every bike in the range. So you can get a feel for how how it fits you, kind of thing. And then there's always people there wanting to get more information or do all that sort of stuff. So you've got that's like the main part, the main draw for people going. You also have retailers. So you've got people like where I work, Infinity Motorcycles. You've got people selling clothing, accessories, helmets, all that sort of thing. You've got loads of businesses coming to sort of show off what they've got, give you a bit of a deal on something, and also just brands that might just want to get a bit of exposure, want to be out there, might, I don't know, it's just what they do. And you can buy stuff there. There's people doing everything from helmets to helmet wipes to cleaning cloths to like exhausts to wheel powder coating to custom earplugs. Literally, you can do everything. So that's like stand-wise, that's what you can do.
Is it a great place for freebies?
There are little freebie bags. Yeah, there wasn't many this year though. There wasn't as many as I thought. But then I think on the last day, I think you can't expect to get loads of freebies. But then there's also like lots of activities to do. So they've got a big main stage.
Yeah.
So each day has like a different thing that's going on. But generally, I think they have a similar structure of who's going to be talking and things like So you can see sort of like, I don't know, your biking heroes or just people in biking in general. Guy Martin, yeah, he could be. I don't think he was there this year, but there's a few different sort of BSB riders, other riders that ride motorbikes telling their tales. And then, so you've got that screen, and they do like fun challenges and quizzes and stuff like that. That's quite good fun. They've got an off-road riding arena, so you can they actually provided you with kit and with a motorbike. They had loads of different bikes. They had like the Royal Enfield Himalayan, which I know one you quite like. They had
video on that potentially coming soon.
Triumph Tiger, BMWs, Honda CB500X. They had a few different bikes. You can go and just try them on a little off-road course, which was actually quite cool. Wow. That's really quite fun, and that's all inside. That's still inside that bit. They had a new riders area where if you've never ridden a bike before, you could literally get a little mini lesson whilst you were there. So that was quite cool. So you can get a feel for riding without doing anything. They had an e-bike area, so you could go and ride electric motorcycles and bicycles in the inside in like a little coned off zone. But then they also had like proper motorcycle riding experiences. Again, if you brought your own kit, happy days. If you didn't, they would supply you with kit, and then take you on a little route around the show, like outside on the open road, on a motorcycle of your choice. You just had to book it there in the morning, and then you can go and get suited up and ride a bike.
Do you know what kind of motorbikes they had?
Anything, literally everything. So I think I don't know what the smallest bikes they had, but they would have had everything from littleish bikes. I think you might have to have a full bike test. You might want to check that out before you go. But they had stuff like high boosters and all sorts.
Oh wow, that is pretty cool.
Whatever.
That's pretty cool. So on your Instagram, I saw when you were at the show, there's a picture of you sat on a Harley Davidson Panamerica.
Yeah.
And a BMW GS 1250.
What? That's a really weird way of saying.
Yeah, I know.
The BMW 125.
1250.
1250. Yeah, the GS. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the triple black edition. That one.
And so we have spoken on the podcast before about the Harley Davidson Panamerica and how Harley would do kind of matching up. I've only seen once before in person. There's actually a Harley Davidson garage near me. Sometimes I pop in just to have a look at all the cool bikes. How did you think that it matched up sitting on both of them? Do you think Harley have a chance of really going forward in the kind of adventure bike world?
I mean, I saw one as well, like in the metal, if you like, at the Reading Toy Run, which was a few weekends before that as well, which was quite good fun. And
more on that later.
And there'll be a video on that, which I'll link in the description. That was really good fun, and actually the owner really raved about it. He loved it. He said it was brilliant. So, but sitting on them and sitting on a few different adventure bikes, I'm getting into sort of like the off-roady, adventure-y style stuff. Haven't bit the bullet on anything yet because I think that's smart. But the Panamerica, what a lovely bike.
Yeah,
it's really nice. It's like nicely put together, but when you sit in it on the cockpit, it looks lovely, and like the dash is all nice, and it just was really comfortable. Like the seat was comfy.
Yeah,
like it just felt like a really nice sort of place to sit. I thought I could just do the miles on this, and I went and sat on one, and then the girl was like, "Oh, can I give you some more information?" I was like, "Oh no, it's okay. I've done my research." And then I come back later on the day. She's like, "Are you sure you don't want any more information?" She's like, "Georgie, go and sit on the back and I'll take a photo of you both." And she was like, "No." But I really liked it. I had to go back and sit on it again because I just thought, that's brilliant. Like I really liked it. That was the only bike I thought, oh, that's really cool.
Yeah, and one thing I think pictures got to make it ugly. It looks so much nicer in person, I feel. It
does. It's still quite chunky on the front. Like, you notice like a lot of the bikes are quite sort of small. The headlight, the front end is quite sort of small and narrow.
Yeah. But
on the Panamerica, it is quite wide. It doesn't hide it, but it just feels quite nice when you've got the bars there. You've got like it feels like you've got a nice area of protection. And the light is bloody bright.
I never sat on one in fear of what the Harley crew would say to me when I'm walking in on my Grom. But from the outside, they do look like a great bike. So what other stuff did you get up to at the NEC show?
So apart from walking around, we did. I took part in the breakdown, so breaking down all the stands and the chaos that ensues. It actually went really smoothly, which was it's just exactly what you want. You just want it to go nice and smoothly, break it all down, and it always makes me laugh. It takes 4 days to build it up, to build all the stands up, get all the stock on, looking all nice. Same for like the bike stands and all the stands you see. Really, it takes them a couple of days to build them, and then it can all be literally come down in an evening.
Yeah.
Just all gone away, cleared out, and everyone has to be done by like midday on Monday anyway because they've got other shows to set up for. So it goes really quickly, but yeah, it was nice and easy. Now there is one thing that I would like to address, which I forgot to mention earlier, was the BSA stand. So BSA did like a relaunch there, and they showed off their bikes that they've got for next year. I think they were coming out. So it's BSA, an old brand. It's been revived. They've got a new bike. It looks really cool. Actually, it looks really smart. It looks nice. There's only one bike. It's the BSA Goldstar 650, and it's you'd quite like it. It's quite cool. It's similar to like one of the Royal Enfields.
I'm gonna have a look.
Have a little look. It's quite cool. The only thing I didn't like, and this is like a bit of a bugbear, and I had to check it out, the exhaust pipe looks really chunky. Like it's quite a chunky bit of metal when you see it in like pictures and things. I thought that's a ridiculous bit of girth on the exhaust. You can see it?
Oh wow.
Yeah, so see how chunky that...
Tom will put up a picture.
We'll do it on the back. We'll do it behind us. You see how chunky that exhaust is?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's just a cover, like on your bike.
Mm.
So it just covers over the exhaust, which I don't know why it's embarrassing. I mean, I don't think it needed to be. So you can see where it ends there.
Yeah, that is weird.
But it's a lovely looking bike, isn't it? It just looks fantastic.
It does look good.
It's 45 cc's, no, 650 cc's, 45 horsepower. I bet it goes, it's single cylinder, it's probably just going to go plod, 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 plod all day and just be a lovely, comfortable little bike. And it was nice and comfy to sit on. And it had something like 10 or 11 colours. It's going to release with, yeah. So it's pretty decent. So I think it's a contender for Royal Enfield's. What's their 650 called? Continental.
Yep, let's go with that. Let's go with the Continental. I'm not sure if that's right, but BSA is sort of one of those kind of old British kind of war bikes as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
They made bikes for the war, in and around the war.
The war, yeah.
The war. Potentially could have been one of the flying squirrels that they dropped down.
Oh yes.
Because there was actually quite.
Wasn't that the flying flea?
Yeah, we'll cut this out.
The flying flea.
We'll
That's a previous episode of Wheelie Good Times that we did.
He doesn't even remember his own bike shout-outs of the week. Over talking about bike shout-out of the week, I do have one for this week.
What a lovely segue.
Yeah, so I'm going to have to read it off my phone. See, the magic of a podcast is you don't see me reading it off my phone. However, now we're in video.
Yeah, you're going to see the warts and all.
For this episode, how could I not include a bike shout-out of the week?
Bike shout-out of the week.
Thank you. However, as we are approaching Christmas, I have a bit of a twist. I would like to shout out the hundreds of bikes which turned out for the annual Reading Toy Run. This is a charity event that happens every year in Reading, Berkshire, United Kingdom. It raises money for a variety of children's charities here in the UK, most notably Barnardo's. The bikers travel from one side of Reading to another and help the less fortunate kids get presents this Christmas. This is the 35th toy run, and a massive thank you to everyone who took part for such an amazing cause.
That's good.
So that was my bike shout out of the week, just shouting out all of the bikes who turned up.
Well, thank you.
So yeah, you turned up actually.
I did turn up, yeah.
Reading is actually where I live, and I didn't turn up.
Well, you were working.
I was working.
Did have a good excuse.
I was working 7 a.m. till 8:30 p.m. So there was no getting out of that one.
No. It was a very good event actually. It was a really good event, and the turnout was fantastic. So yeah, and obviously it was all for doing a good thing. So yeah, I'd also say thank you to everyone that turned up. That was brilliant. It's a great day, and thank you to everyone who donated, bikers and non-bikers, because I know other people did donate at sort of various drop-off points. And I think next year we should try and make it even bigger. I think we should hit the 2K mark.
Everybody kind of dresses up their bike. You wrapped your bike in kind of wrapping paper.
Yeah.
You put some fairy lights on it, I think, and a big bow on the back. Or
yeah, it's a little bow, little Christmas present bow.
So name some of the best ones that you saw, kind of as you were riding.
There's a lot of Santas. There's a boat that goes every year. I think it's based on a Reliant. It looks like a boat. That one's quite cool. There's just various. Like I saw this, it was brilliant. I think it was a CBR 600, and it had like brown fur and a red nose, and like the mirrors were done to look like antlers. Like it looked like a reindeer. It was brilliant, but it it's textured. It was furry. That was probably one of my favourites. That one, somebody who put like a speaker system and like a proper. It might have not been a real Christmas tree, but a big Christmas tree on the back of their bike. That was brilliant. And then my favourite of the show, and I'm only going to say it's my favourite because I saw all of the reaction of people as we went past. But Georgie with the dinosaur on the back of her bike.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
And I put some shots up of that. But it was so funny. Like I knew it was going to be hilarious because of how big the bike is, how big the dinosaur is compared to her and the bike. But like we were riding along and I was in front at some points, and then people would sort of wave at me and then go, "Oh my god, oh yeah, dinosaur!" and just like completely forget about me. And when I was behind, you could see people's faces and they just love the dinosaur and they'd like turn and look at the dinosaur. And I think that for me was like the best part of the show, seeing people like love the dinosaur.
Yeah.
And so next year we're going to go back. We're going to get more dinosaurs. Yeah, it's going to be fun.
And if people have never heard of the toy run, or you have heard of the toy run but you've never been, there is also a Windsor toy run as well. It's a bit smaller, happens in Windsor instead of Reading. Happens the week before. So
we'll push those closer to the time next year.
Yeah.
Because they're fantastic fun and they're for a great cause. So what more do you want?
Yeah.
Right. So I teased you with a cryptic, and we had like maybe 2 or 3 cryptics at the start of the show, and then I just stopped doing them. So we had 2.
Yeah, okay,
it was two. So here is the third cryptic clue. So the idea is I give you a sentence or a phrase or something like that. It's a clue, and that will relate to something motorcycling. So the last few were riders, but it could be a motorcycle, it could be a cafe maybe, or an event or something motorbike related. It could be a part of a bike. So I'll give you a clue. Then you just have to. You can message us, on any of the platforms. You can email us. I can't remember the email, but I'll put it in the notes in the description. But yeah, try and get it, and then we'll give out some sort of superficial prize.
We will indeed.
Right, if you're ready for it. So, we need to appear more like that green stuff growing on that rock. We need to appear more like that green stuff growing on that rock. Yeah?
Okay, this is another one that no one's winning. This is too hard.
No, that's good. That is good. It does make sense though, doesn't it? I know you're saying, oh, it's a bit of a guess. It's a cryptic clue.
Yeah, it is cryptic. It is cryptic. Do you want to get up the fancy MotoGP scores from last year?
Okay, we can round off with the.
So last year,
it'll be this year.
Oh yeah, okay. So this year we did MotoGP Fantasy League. It was me and you in it. I think Georgie was in it as well.
Georgie was in it as well, yeah.
And we did it up until probably like February. I got a new job and my life was a bit more difficult. So I think
February.
Maybe March.
No, it was a lot later in the year than that because we filmed podcast episodes. Like we only started filming in like January or February.
Right,
your time frames are quite off.
Okay, so at some point we stopped it, and I haven't looked at it. I can't even log back into my account. It won't send me a password reset. I don't know what's going on. Tom probably hasn't looked at it because he's useless.
I continued playing it, and what annoyed me is the outcome, even though I continued playing it.
So ours were kind of frozen, and this is the first time to see who won.
Well, I know who won.
Who won? Oh, look at that! I won. I did have a feeling that I would win, mainly because of my vast MotoGP knowledge and experience.
You got me on that last one, I think. Yeah, it was the last MotoGP you just pulled ahead of me. Because I remember watching it and I went to change out and I got the time, like, because you can swap your team around up until like FP3, I think it is.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I'll make a change, and it locked me out, and I was like, that's not good. So yeah, I missed out on those last points. We probably would have been about even, but yeah. So it was you, followed by me, and then Georgina was slightly behind, but we were quite close. Look, average points 92.8, and mine was 90.2. Yeah. If you want to get involved, we will actually have some prizes for next year, so you can join onto the team, and the winner will get an awesome prize. Awesome used loosely.
Yes. Depending on how many people join, if there's only one person and you wipe the floor with us because we know nothing about MotoGP, then your prize will be less significant.
No, we should do a trophy.
We'll do a trophy.
We'll do a trophy.
A motorbike trophy.
Cool. Well, that rounds up, I suppose, our 14th and final podcast of the year 2021. Thank you for coming along for the ride. Do you want to do your little outro?
I will indeed. So thank you for listening. Today's episode was sponsored by...
Oh, I didn't get a sponsor.
Keep an eye out every Sunday on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or whatever you're listening on right now. Please leave us a review on iTunes or tell us what you think over on our Instagram at Wheelie Good Times Podcast. I'm Kong.
And I'm Tom.
Ride safe and have a really good time.
Lovely.
Yeah.
We do need to update that because we don't post every Sunday, and I don't think that's the Instagram account anymore. Yeah, that's fun, though. That's good. Well done. First video one ever. Brilliant.
Yeah. So we think that. Oh God, this is bad. Actually, I don't like this.
What?
You can edit, can't you?
Oh yeah, I'll be cutting this to pieces, don't you worry.
Yeah, good.